Welcome to We Need to Talk Now, presented by AT&T. I'm Alicia J, and I'm here with Ashley Nicole Moss, and we have a very, very special Connecting Changes Everything interview presented by AT&T with the one and the only Cynthia Cooper.
Absolutely. And look, we got to add a little bit more spice onto that, because outside of just being a WNBA legend, all right, and one of the greatest players to ever play the game, Cynthia, your resume is so long, we don't even have time to dive into everything in this intro. But what we do have to remind everybody, you were part of the first WNBA team to win not one, not two, not three, but 4 championships. We are so excited to have you back, especially at this very pivotal moment of the WNBA season. So much to get into. We're the playoffs, the finals, everything is right around the corner. Like I said, so much to dive into. But first and foremost, how are you doing? Welcome, hi, all that.
I'm doing fantastic. Everything is going great. I'm still doing my training, and I actually trained this morning. So I love being in the gym and kind of passing the torch to the next generation. So that's always fun. But yeah, everything is good. I'm excited to talk with you guys and dive into what the W is doing right now, and how exciting their play is right now.
Well, listen, I didn't train. All I had was coffee this morning, so I need to catch up with you on every level. But you talked about the WNBA and the exciting time that is going on right now. Obviously, unprecedented viewership, attendance, all of those things. But what is your favorite part of what is happening in the W right now?
Well, 2 things. I love what A'ja Wilson is doing. I love A'ja Wilson, so I love what she's doing. I love the fact that, the Aces didn't start out the season on top and blowing everybody out. They actually, hit a couple stumbling blocks with a new roster, but they just stayed the course. And then they say the cream always rises to the top. I mean, Asia's plight, like her desire to be great, is on display every single time she steps on the court. Not only is she getting better, but she's making her teammates better and stretching the court with her 3-point shot and mid-range shot, and then getting to the rim and finishing tough shots. So I just love her journey to greatness. I love watching it and being a witness to it. I also love what Paige is doing. Paige Bueckers is just amazing, right? So yes, she just broke my record by 1 point, but I love to see it because I love the energy and the excitement that's generated around not just women's basketball, but around her specifically and her team, the Dallas Wings. They're doing an amazing job there. And it's always nice to see the young talent come in and show out. Right from the beginning, you have the pressure to show what you can do on that next level, and then you make your adjustments, and then you do it, right? You bring your A game every single night. So that's always great to see. I love to see, the New York, the East Coast, West Coast, what the Sparks are doing, what the Liberty are doing. I just love to see the energy when you look at what Kelsey's doing out in Mitchell, out in with the Fever in Indiana, and she's about to break a scoring record there. So I'm loving watching the W and watching where they are right now. So I'm excited.
I want to go to Paige for a second, because Alicia and I have this conversation a lot on the show. I think people sometimes just underestimate how difficult it is to go from the collegiate game to the draft to training camp to the preseason and then the regular season in such a short window. And we had this conversation about Caitlin Clark, and a lot of people were, questioning if she was going to be a professional, if she was going to make it in the pro, because of how much she was kind of struggling her rookie season. And well, it's a huge adjustment period. What you're seeing from Paige, how impressed are you about how she's handled that adjustment period? And what do you think that her ability to handle it the way she's been doing it is going to mean for her career as a pro in this league?
Yeah, you can always tell who's going to make a great pro It's by what they do off the court, what they do before they get to practice or to the training sessions. Mentally, how she prepares herself. She's never too high, never too low. She's right there, even keeled, and just focused. She's driven, she's focused. And I think she's going to have an amazing professional career, because not only is it hard to make the transition from collegiate level to the pros, but it's also difficult to make that step into a new team that already has a leader, that already has things, that they've been playing for years together. And now all of a sudden you step in as a rookie. What is your identity going to be? What is your game going to look like? What do they need from you? What can you give them? All of those are questions. Should I go all out? Should I show everything I have in my bag? Or should I take a back seat and wait for my time because I'm a rookie? All of those questions go through your mind. And the fact that Paige was able to step into the WNBA and really showcase her talent at this level for the Dallas Wings, day in and day out, every single night she shows up. That's amazing. That shows what a professional she is and how great she can be.
Well, you talked about stepping in as a rookie, and there was a point in time when you stepped in to the W as a rookie, and it was the first year that, the W had launched. And I know the story was that you actually put together a tape and a pitch to be in the W. And when you called, they said, "Hey, we've been looking for you." So,
Yeah.
Can you just tell us a little bit about that time? And, as a rookie, did you know at that time that you were going to impact the game in the way that you had, as in the W? It's just obviously a phenomenal thing that I have been honored to witness. But as you, what were you feeling at that time? And did you know it was going to be what it ended up being?
Well, I didn't know I was going to have that type of impact. I knew that I really wanted to play in America, in front of American fans, in front of my family and friends that I had kind of lost touch with by playing overseas in Italy. But when I had gotten a no from the ABL. So I called them too. I'm like, yo, I want to play in America. And they were like, oh, we have enough guards. And I was like, okay, well, that's it. I got to go back overseas, right? But I'd heard the rumblings that there was going to be another professional league backed by the NBA. So, me, I'm not going to make the same mistake twice with just a cold call. No, I'm putting together videos. I'm putting together stats. I'm putting together everything, an intro letter. Look, I put it all in the box, and, just the phone call ahead of this package that I was sending was really the moment. They were like, oh, Cynthia Cooper, you playing in Italy, right? I said, yeah. Oh, we were looking for you. Where do we send the contract? I'm like, playing in the WNBA. So that was super exciting for me. And then when I got to the WNBA, I really wanted to lay the foundation for the next generation. Who's coming next? I think the slogan was, "We got next." Okay, so I wanted to bring my A game because, for me, it was really time sensitive. I was a 35-year-old rookie. So I had to really show what I could do in a short amount of time and hopefully solidify a professional league being, in America and strong in a short amount of time, right? So I brought my A game. I was like, look, let's play. Let's go. Every single night, every practice, every game, I was trying to be the best version of myself and show what women could do out on the court on a professional level.
Well, Cynthia, I just want to follow up really quick. People don't know and understand how much you've had to fight or how much you fought your entire career, because even out of high school, you only had one offer, and that was after you won the championship. You only had one offer. And I think now, because of the success of the W and the success of leagues like Unrivaled, and we could go down the line of what's happening now, people don't understand there are still people out there who are grinding every day to prove themselves, right? And they're trying to get in the leagues, and they're trying to become that player that they know that they are. What would your advice be to them? because they're still out there. There's so many women that are so good in this game, and there's still not enough spots. So what would your advice be to them?
I would say stay the course. Like I said, I was a 35-year-old rookie, but I didn't feel sorry for myself. I stayed in the gym. I got better. I added to my bag every single day, every single game, every practice. I think people underestimate the value of practice. So for me, the grind was real. I wasn't a star in college. That was Cheryl Miller and the McGee twins. I had to fight my way to a starting position with that level of talent. I thought I was great until I saw Cheryl Miller practice, and I was like, "Oh, Coop, you got to get better," right? And then but once again, you're getting back to the grind. You're getting back to the grind. So for me, my advice would be stay the course and continue to get better. Don't stay the same. Don't tread water. Continue to get better. When you go in the gym, leave that gym knowing that you've gotten better at something, right? For me, I didn't shoot the three-pointer well. So guess what? I had to get in the gym and put up some shots. I only would go right. So now I have to learn how to go left and finish with contact. So there's always something. That's the beautiful thing about basketball, right? There's always something you can do better. There's always something you can learn. There's always something you can add to your game, to your bag, and then bring it out so that you're able to, bring it out when you need it in the game. So I think the grind is real, but the grind is also very rewarding, 4 championships later.
I know that's right. I mean, looking at your overall journey, though, obviously hindsight is 2020, and when we look back on things, we always say, I could have done that better, or I wish I would have put more emphasis on that. Is there anything when you look back on your initial journey to get into the W, or while you were in the league, is there anything that you wish that you would have done differently, or you would have put more of an emphasis on, or just tweaked a little bit, or are you very much content with everything you did because it led you to ultimately where you ended up?
I can't think of anything that I would change on my journey. And I went through the journey, right? So I only had one scholarship offer coming from high school. That one, we won a state championship, thank God. And then USC offered me a scholarship. But I took full advantage of my time at USC. We won 2 national championships. To pursue my dream of playing pro ball, I had to go over to Italy. I speak fluent Italian, parlo italiano, se c'è qualcuno che mi capisce, no? Nessuno? Va bene. So I learned fluent Italian, traveled all over Europe. I became an Italian in Italy as opposed to an American living in a foreign country, right? So I took advantage of every phase, everything God gave me, I took advantage of it. So I have nothing that I would change as during my journey, because playing against great players like Cheryl Miller, I call them the 2 Cheryls in my life, right? In my games, Cheryl Miller and Cheryl Swoops and Tina Thompson. I even played with Lisa Leslie. So playing against and with those players and practicing against them just made me a better player. Made me say, hey, you know what? They do that great, so I'm going to work on that as well. Or I can tweak this in my game and add this. I always wanted to be great. I didn't want to just be good. I didn't want to just be a participant. I wanted to win.
I mean, you mentioned USC, and we seeing statues pop up all over the place. We getting a Cynthia Cooper statue at USC anytime soon?
Well, remember, I wasn't the star at USC. That was Cheryl Miller.
Space to go around for all of you. We could build a statue.
Yeah, you know what? I would love to see a Cheryl Miller statue at USC at the Galen Center. And I know we'll say 7 years from now, we'll be seeing Juju Watkins statue at USC. So we have a rich history at SC winning and playing on a level of having a level of excellence and expecting a level of excellence anytime we step out on the court.
Well, and speaking of statues, they just retired Sue Bird, or they didn't retire her, rather they gave her a statue. The Storm did. Now, should the Comets come back, because we talked about this last time, but should the Comets come back, who is the first player they should make a statue of?
Oh, wow. That's a loaded question. Ooh. So I will answer it politically correct. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. Let's do the big three. Let's do the big three, or we could do someone that has flown under the radar as far as how important she was to the Houston Comets. Kim Peratt statue would be fantastic, and I know the city would rally around that. But the Comets should definitely come back ASAP, like yesterday, and I'd be also excited if they came back so that we could finally retire Cheryl Swoops and Tina Thompson's jersey. So that would be great.
Absolutely. The fact that they're not retired already, the jerseys is wild to me, but also the fact that the Comets aren't even, I wouldn't say they're not in the conversation, but they should be top of conversation when it comes to, bringing teams back. So have you heard any movement around this at all? Is there anything to report?
I've seen a couple tweets and a couple things that have popped up that there's been conversation that I know the Connecticut Sun was going to be going to Boston. And I think they may be considering coming to Houston, which would mean we would have a WNBA team again in Houston. I'm not sure if they would call them the Comets. I'm hopeful that they would, but that would be awesome for the city of Houston. I think we're ready for it, ready for the Comets to come back.
I want to ask you, with the statues that we're seeing being built, with the expansion, just with all of the movement, it seemed like it was such a long time getting to this point, and now it's just happening at a rapid pace, especially when you talk about the statues, because I feel like when you talk about the NBA, you've almost gotten spoiled by the statues that they give out and the jerseys that they retire of players that, in a sense, I feel like the fans are kind of not nonchalant about it, but I don't think they're as moved by it as I feel the WNBA fans are, because it's been so uncommon. From your vantage point and seeing how the league started and to where it is, can you just describe for people who don't understand the magnitude of what we're seeing about the jersey retirements and the statues, and then even the expansion, what this means to not only the fans, but the women who have been in the trenches fighting for this very moment?
Yeah, I think, a statue is really next level. I will admit it, it's next level. It just takes, because when you dream of playing professional sports, you dream of hitting a winning shot, game-winning shot. You dream of winning a championship. You dream of being an MVP, but you don't dream of playing a game so great that the organization says, you know what, we need you around all the time. We need to have a statue of you outside of our arena to remind people not just how great you were, but how great you made us. And so that's another level. That's next level. So I love the fact, I know Asia has her statue out in South Carolina, and Sue Bird just has hers. And I'm sure Diana Taurasi will be quickly right behind them. The effort that you give to the game, the game that you love, and how you come out every single day and perform in front of the fans, your family, the nation. When you are rewarded with a statue, it just changes everything. Nike made a statue of me on their campus, a facility there. And when we went to that ceremony, I was overwhelmed, because once again, you don't dream of that. And so when it happens for you and they recognize your efforts in that way, it's an honor beyond words.
Well, from recognizing efforts, like we were talking about the statues, attendance, everything that is happening in the W, it is a beautiful time, not only in the W, but women's sports in general. When you think of what is to come for the league, especially with the new CBA, what do you most want to see changed in the W, just to keep that growth going and to keep that success going?
I think the W has done a fantastic job with managing the teams and really expectations, because so many times we seem to compare ourselves to the NBA and forget that we're only about 28 years old. So I love the growth. continue to, the salaries continue to increase. Everybody wants to get paid what they're worth. I love what they're doing with marketing around the W and how we're in every house all over the place. You can't turn, on, you can't put on your Instagram or social media of any kind and not see the W somewhere, right? Or the players. I love the direction. I would like to see what we're starting to see, and that's expansion teams for more opportunities for women to stay in America and play professional basketball at a very high level. Because what you're seeing is, because you have the W, you're now seeing players dream of being a professional player in the W. I didn't have the W to dream about being a professional player. I had the Los Angeles Lakers and, a lot of male role models, but now you have great female role models that you can be like Caitlin Clark. You can shoot her her step back 3-pointer. You can practice on getting to somebody's hash mark on some court and knocking down that 3-pointer and then throwing your hands up like Caitlin Clark, or doing, behind the back. When you're going off of a screen, they cut off that screen, you go behind the back like Paige Bueckers, or knocking down a game-winning 3-point like Sabrina Ionescu. So I love where the W is going. I love that they're expanding, and I love to be honest with you, I love the rate that they're expanding at. And don't do it all at one time. Ease into it. I love what the Valkyries did this year. I think they're at 19 wins the last time I checked. So great fan support, great coaching, great players. And so I love the not just what the W is doing, but the W, I call it the W factor, right? So now kids in college, they're so talented now because they get to dream of staying in America and playing professional basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned Caitlin Clark, and I want to bring her up because obviously her sophomore season's been frustrating to say the least, especially if you are a fan of hers or just a fan of the sport in general, and you wanted to see her kind of build upon such an impressive rookie season. And that groin injury, we all know it's one of the most nagging injuries in sports. Every time you think you're okay, it reminds you, look, nope, I'm still here.
Not quite.
You've dealt with injuries in your career. I guess, what advice would you give to her as she kind of navigates what she was probably anticipating was going to be a huge season for her? And it obviously has not turned out not only to be that for her, but it's been a trickle effect to her team.
Well, I will tell you, the Indiana Fever, they're so exciting. They're so exciting to watch. They are doing a fantastic job with that new coaching staff, and they are just doing a fantastic job. They come to play every single night, no matter who the opponent is. And I love to see that. Kelsey Mitchell is just, man, she is a beast. But the pieces around her are also great. So their organization has done just a fantastic job. I hate to see any athlete injured, but Caitlin, after her rookie season, it's been difficult. It's difficult coming back from any muscular issue, especially a groin, and to play at her level, because when you see her on television, that's one thing. But when you see her in person, like, her game is like another level. She's backdooring, she's crafty, she's making players around her better. She's knocking down the 3-pointer, getting people in foul trouble. She changes the game in so many different ways that her not having her on the court it hurts you. It definitely hurts you. But I know how frustrating it is for her to want to perform and want to be there for her team and not be able to do it and not be able to give 100%. But I also know how important it is for her to heal. You got to heal. You can't go through a season dipping in, coming out, going in, coming out, dipping in, sitting back down. Just heal. Because when we see Caitlin Clark, we want to see the real Caitlin Clark. We want to see you play the way we know you're capable of playing, with the fire you bring to every single game and every single competition, right? Every single matchup. We want to see you shine. So heal, sweetheart. let your leg heal. So when you come out, you're firing on all cylinders, and you're the Caitlin Clark. You're better than the Caitlin Clark we saw your rookie year. And so, yeah, and keep your mind right, right? I know she has a great support system. Her parents are fantastic. Keep your mind right during this phase that you have to heal. Just keep your fire going and be ready to step back out there on the court, both physically and mentally.
Yeah, we definitely want to see her back, better than ever. So
Yeah.
that's definitely something that I hope she hears from this interview and takes that advice. I'm looking forward to continuing to talk with you right now, but we have to say goodbye to Ashley because she has another interview to go to. So
It was an honor. It was a privilege. It was a pleasure, all of those things. And I hope it will not be the last time. Alicia, I know you're in very good hands. And Cynthia, I know you're in very good hands. So
Well, thank you, Ashley. Appreciate
bye,
it.
y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Ash. Well, now I have you all to myself. And I have to say that the first interview we did at the Women's Final Four is an honor, and so is this. I was the kid who looked up to you, watched your career the entire way, wore your shoes, loved the commercials, played the commercials over and over again. I don't know if those are some of my favorite all-time commercials, but and so to sit here with you, it really means a lot to me as a person, and I know that there are a lot of women out there, and men too, but a lot of people, I should say, that have looked up to you. And one of them is Esther Wallace. She's the owner of Players Society. You actually have a shirt on. Yes, rep that. I have that shirt as well. And I just wanted to play you a little bit of the interview that we had when we did her Connecting Changes Everything interview. So you can see, some of the amazing things she had to say about you.
Awesome.
Spirit of connecting with Cynthia Cooper, what is something that you would want to say to her or let know about you and how she's impacted your life, and how that connection specifically has impacted your life?
I mean, wow. So I'm always like, because I started playing so late, right? I started playing, after having I would have had the opportunity to see some of these legends actually be on the court. So I've interacted with Cynthia post career, right? Of course, and just her energy, her storytelling. She tells a good story, right? And that's always a way to get me drawn in. And so just I would just want her to feel celebrated and seen. I think she definitely deserves that. I hope to be able to have a moment where I get to do that. But I think the best thing versus saying, I'm someone who obviously I speak through design and I'm very visual, but I would want her to feel celebrated and feel like we're all rooting for her still and excited about what she's contributed to the game.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Esther.
Yeah, she had so many amazing things to say about you, as she should. But, when you connect with people and inspire them, I was just wondering, is there like a weight on you when it comes to that? Or is that something that you feel is part of your, your path and your purpose? I think there could be a little bit of both, but how does it feel to be a person like she was talking about that has inspired so many people?
Well, it feels wonderful to hear that type of feedback. But for me, everything is genuine. Everything is genuine. I do believe it's my purpose. I do believe that when I met Esther, all I wanted to do was praise her. Like, girl, yes, like you're doing it. However you need me to support you, I want to do that, because isn't that what we really are here for? We're here to support that next generation. And sometimes it's in art. Sometimes it's in sports. Sometimes you just, you meet someone on the street or you meet them in the supermarket and you can say one sentence that makes their day. You can give them a hug, it makes their day. And so for me, my number one thing is support us. Support us women, support each other, support us athletes, support us African-American females that are trying to get it done. And I love support. I love supporting females to go to that next level and encouraging them and motivating them and really feeding their spirit that they can really achieve anything that they want to achieve. You know, it wasn't always easy. And of course, you know, when you're the first to do something, you're going to make mistakes. But when your heart is in the right place, that's really the foundation of everything. Your heart is in the right place. You make mistakes, you get your butt back up, you try to do it better the next time. You try to be better, a better person the next time. And so for me, all I want is to help and support and motivate women and people and my players that I coach to be great every day, not every so often. Strive for greatness when you wake up in the morning. And I believe that's what Esther does, right? I'm sure she had to go through different obstacles, and we all have our obstacles. I just believe you can overcome them. You can put problems in certain places where they're not affecting your outcome. You deal with them when you have to deal with them, but then after that, go soar, go fly, go be great. And I believe, and that's what I try to, that's the energy I try to give to people I meet.
Well, I'm about to go run through a brick wall right now because of what you just said. So I'll be right back. No, I'm just playing. But literally, the way you just inspired me, you've inspired so many people. And who would be the person for you, the person that has connected you to the inspiration that you have needed?
Well, I have so many throughout my career. I definitely want to give a shout out to my mom because she really taught me perseverance. That it's not going to always be easy, but if you persevere, you'll win at the end. You'll come out on top. Cheryl Miller. You know, Cheryl Miller, like I said, she played out at Riverside. I played in the inner city at Locke High School, and I just believed I was the greatest. I was better than everyone. And when she came to USC, I remember that first practice, I looked up at her because she was on the rim. I was down there, she was on the rim. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, she's great. Coop, you got to get in the gym. Like, you got to get better. And she motivated me to be the best version of myself every day in practice. She was probably that first player that helped me understand the value and importance of practice. That you can't just cruise through a practice, but you use practice to get better. Because she came in and she gave 100% in every single practice. So she really taught me a lot, just watching her grow and watching her level of talent and skill and talent. So I would definitely say Cheryl Miller. I love, you know, during my journey, I've always wanted to be great, but I was never able to see another person's journey to greatness, right? And how much they put into it and how they keep their circle tight. And that person is A'ja Wilson. Like, just to see how she's growing game after game, year after year, from her rookie season to now, to see where she is and where her game is and how it has matured and how she stayed even keeled, right? Win a gold medal, win two championships back to back. This is who I am. I am unapologetically A'ja Wilson. How about that? And she lets her game speak for her. So A'ja Wilson is another person that connects me to greatness, right? If there was another person, I want to give, in my spirit, I'm feeling, I need to give a shout out to Angel Reese. Angel Reese is just a workaholic. She just gets down to business, right? A lot of stuff has been thrown her way. She keeps her circle tight and she stays focused on her game. She got help from Lisa Leslie. She'll get help from whoever she needs to in order to be a better player and a better person. I love what her mom is doing in her life and how they're so close. I love her, just her energy out there on the court and her competitive nature. Like, she reminds me of me when I was starting out and I didn't care. Say what you want to say. I'm bringing my A game tonight. right? You're going to have to stop me from getting all these rebounds. Stop talking about how I get the rebounds. Stop me if you can. And I love that attitude of hers and how she's continuing to get better every single game.
Well, Esther connected us to you, and you have all of these game changers that have inspired you. Who should we connect with next?
I would connect with Asia or Cheryl Miller.
Okay.
First one that came to my mind was Asia, but I think Cheryl Miller is also a good one.
Well, listen, I'd love to interview both. So maybe we should just do both in the future. But definitely looking forward to those conversations. But I just have to say thank you for this conversation today. It has been truly amazing. Like I said, you have inspired and continue to inspire people, including myself. And we just thank you for taking the time out with us today for this special Connecting Changes Everything interview presented by AT&T. So thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This was great.